I think we feel very welcomed in Bern, and we're all going to move here immediately. So we're now going to go on to our next session, and this is from Cité, and Nicola, there you are, Nicola Forster. Can I introduce you to introduce this session to us?
Thank you so much, Vivian. Can you hear me? Yes. So are you ready to play? Okay, some of you are, but most of you aren't. Is that a right assumption? No, I know that Swiss people normally, they take more time than people in other countries to answer these questions. There's even scientific studies proving that when you ask a question in the US, you'll get the answer within 2 seconds, and in Switzerland it takes about 2 minutes. But the Swiss answer is maybe more correct than the US one, so sometimes it makes sense to take your time. Welcome to this session on science communication. My name is Nicola Forster. I'm the president of Cité, which is part of the Academies of Science here in Switzerland. This session will be quite interactive and fast-paced, and we base it on technology, so I'm already very nervous to see if everything works out. So if it doesn't, please bear with us, just smile, okay? Good. So we'll start with a short movie section. Does anybody know this film? Yes? Some do. Actually, can you believe it? This is from 1902. 1902. This was the first movie about humans traveling to the moon. I can only recommend it. It's only like about 10 minutes, I think, and it's called Le Voyage dans la Lune from Georges Méliès, and you can find it on YouTube, of course. It's a silent movie, but there's a lot of music also which has been added to the film. So you can have this with a very funky air soundtrack, or also this Billy Brass band, Billy Brass Quintet that played here. So there's a lot of other films, movies, of course, on the moon landing, because this has always made humanity dream. You also know about science fiction from Jules Verne, for instance, so you can see that since a very long time, the moon has captured our imagination. Then in 1969, this became reality. Of course, you know about the moon landing, but please think back about the historical and scientific context also back in the days. You can think of the space race that happened between the US and the USSR, for instance, or the Russians which sent the first man in space, for instance. And also in the same time, around the same time, the Vietnam War, but also Woodstock, the hippie times, and so on. So there was a lot of things happening which are still in some way present even today, in today's culture. Now, let's start with the playing part. And this will be complicated because you'll need your mobile phone or another device. And as a moderator, I know that never ask people to take out their mobile phones because they will check their emails. So don't check your emails, but take out your mobile phone, and I'll explain you how to log in, and then you can use your device to vote later on. So, do all of you have Wi-Fi access or internet? Yes? Nope. If you don't have internet, please log in on the network called Free Kursaal Allegro and click on voucher. That's very important. Voucher, it's you have to scroll a bit down. Voucher, and then enter the user ID 292-705-0959. It's very easy. And you have the facilitators at your table who can help you with that. And the password should be 6809. Does that work? And I completely understand if you don't want to pay for Swiss roaming fees, because they're the highest in Europe. It works? Yes, it works here. Yes, good. Okay, now, next step. This is really important, so I need your attention. Please go to menti.com, menti.com, and there's a field which asks you to enter a code, and there you enter the code 405377. Menti.com in your browser. Does it work? Working? Yeah. If somebody can't connect to the internet, just work with your neighbor. That's okay too. Yeah? Are we set? Are we ready to go? Not yet. Almost there. Yeah. Can we go back to the login page for a second? Nothing yet. It should be empty for the moment. Yeah. Okay, can we go to the next slide, Mats, please? Menti.com, enter 405377. Yeah? Okay, you should be there now, or at least your neighbor. Yes? More or less? Good. Okay, so we'll have a first trial. So we'll just try it out with one question, and we'll talk about the year 1969. So we'll talk about Woodstock. Has anybody been at Woodstock here? Looking at people with the long hair. Nobody? Okay. So maybe you listened to other types of music back in the days, jazz or classical music. But let me ask you this. Which was your favorite band or artist in 1969? And if you're too young for that, maybe you know about your parents' favorite artist back in the days. You have to put it in your device. Please write it on Menti. Okay, you have 10 seconds to enter your favorite band. Okay, so we can see we have a very clear winner. It's the Beatles. How many Beatles fans do we have here in the room? Okay, yeah, that's a very clear winner. And the Rolling Stones, they are losing. We can also see interesting entries, like, for instance, the Leitze Sleuteltjes. Maybe that's not a Swiss who entered this one. Or, of course, Cat Stevens, Bob Dylan, but also Pink Floyd or Mozart, so some people who weren't into rock or pop music back in the days. So that was just to try out how it works, okay? Good. So, and one more thing, if you don't know the answer or if you don't have an answer, just press on skip, okay? You can always do that in the Mentimeter. Now let's talk about the first moon landing. We have the next question. First moon landing. Were you already born at the time of the first moon landing? I guess some of you were. Please put it in. Okay, 10 seconds. I would say either some of you are not saying the right age, or you can be quite happy, Antonio, no, with the crowd. Yeah, it's very distributed between younger and a bit older people here. And what's interesting is also that the younger took longer to enter in the smartphone. So we have people in the room who are very savvy with technology, even if they're a bit older, and even if they have been part of the hippie generation. Okay, so now, interesting question. How did you follow the moon landing, or if you haven't been born at the days, how did your parents follow the moon landing? Because I've asked my parents and they know exactly where they were sitting, with whom, and so on. It was a defining moment for them. Do you remember? Now you can enter something in the Mentimeter. Maybe you can give some details, not only that you watched it on TV, but what happened, with whom, and so on. Well, here we have some honesty. They did not follow it or avoided watching it. Read it in the newspapers. Television at friend's house. Somebody was in Graubünden. I think they had TV back in the days already. Yeah, yeah. Read it in the newspaper. They told me that this was a key moment. We had no TV, but I think I had a chance to get a short glimpse at the neighbor's TV. Her or his parents didn't tell her anything. That's mean. Probably drunk. Nothing, it was not important for them. Before the TV with my... yeah. From the beach, outside the hotel in Sousse, Tunisia, with the family. That's beautiful. So we can see a lot of memories coming up again. That's beautiful. Because this was an important scientific moment, but it also was an important political moment, of course. And it defined also part of our lives. And I was born in 1985, and I haven't had this kind of moment. And for me, it was this moment when this guy, this Red Bull guy, do you remember this Felix Baumgartner, who was jumping from stratosphere? I mean, obviously, it's not comparable to the moon landing, but it was somehow also, there was a lot of attention going on TV, so this was kind of similar. Thank you so much for this. Now we have these round tables, so we have time to discuss at least a little bit, and we'll go to the next question. We listened to Space Oddity, David Bowie, of course you know him. Fantastic song. Actually, this song was released 9 days before the moon landing. And he was influenced by Kubrick's film 2001 Space Odyssey, of course. And I don't know if you know the cover version of this. Do you know that one? If not, you should look it up on YouTube. It's Chris Hadfield who has sung. And he was an astronaut on board the ISS space station. And he was singing in space. And it's really beautiful. He has a great voice, actually. And you can see him floating, and you see the Earth behind. And it's a fantastic video. And he was tweeting it, this astronaut, tweeting like, I've covered David Bowie's song. And then David Bowie was answering on Twitter with his own song, Hello, Space Boy. So, fantastic. Okay, so music gives us the possibility to travel back and forth in time. But after the moon landing, there have been other great scientific events, which were as important or even more important than the moon landing. And we'll talk about this now in the smaller groups. So the rules of the discussions are that you have short discussions. So please try to just bring in one thought or so, because we don't have a lot of time for this session. Every group should come up with 3 answers. And these 3 answers should be super short. So only 2 words, not long sentences. Because afterwards we'll make these word clouds, and this only works if you put in short answers. You have facilitators at your tables. Does every group have a facilitator? Please raise your hands. Yes. Okay. So you don't need to use the Mentimeter anymore now. They will do it for you. This is great. Only they will enter the answers. Now the question that you have to discuss in the next 6 minutes or so is, which scientific achievements after the moon landing 1969 were as or even more important? Let's go. 5 minutes. 2 more minutes, so please enter find a consensus and enter the 3 solutions. One minute left. Please, facilitators, enter your solutions. Okay, 20 seconds.
One should combine.
Yeah.
Because you may, really have feelings.
Okay, all of the facilitators entered the solutions? Yes? Okay, so let's have a look at what you've entered. So the internet and the World Wide Web, obviously they're together. So they are, in your view, one of the most important scientific achievements. But then we have other interesting things. For instance, the genome sequencing, human genome, but also the CRISPR, of course. We have superconductors, the blockchain. That's the younger part of the people in here. Global warming also was an important scientific achievement, but yeah. Or at least the fight against it. The CERN. Alternative energy, also in that field. The Hubble. Very interesting. Thank you so much. We go to the next question. Oh no, we have a film for you. A Grand Day Out by Nick Park. You know Wallace and Gromit? Yes. So they are thinking about their next holidays, right? They think about their next holidays. Where should they go? And they look in the fridge and there's no cheese left. So they think about where they could find cheese, and obviously they know that the moon is made out of cheese, so they decide to spend their holidays on the moon.
Oh. Nice drop of tea to get the taste buds going. Plate. Knife. Cracker. See what you think. Wensleydale. Stilton. I don't know, lad. It's like no cheese I've ever tasted. Let's try another spot.
Okay, this is one possible future scenario that we spend our holidays on the moon. But there are other future scenarios also which involve scientific events. So we'll talk about the future now. And the question will be, which coming scientific events and achievements will be of very high importance for humankind in the future? Okay? You have again 5 minutes to discuss in your groups. So please start now. Hast du Strandweg? Okay. Do we have all the solutions? Please enter them if you haven't already. Facilitators, have you all entered your 3 solutions? Yes. Okay, so let's have a look. So this is really interesting, and it's more difficult, of course, than to say what was important in the past. So we have AI, artificial intelligence, at the center, but we also have synthetic life, which is interesting. Fusion energy. What else do we have? Alternative for GDP. Yes. Nuclear fusion, water desalination, solving global warming, of course, eradicating cancer, clean energy, well, curing dementia, stop aging. So a lot with health also. That's very interesting. Now what I will ask you now is to turn back to your own devices, because now you can rank which one is seems most important to you. And if you see a blank screen or something, please just click on Go to Slide. It's called Go to Slide. If you're not on the right slide, please click Go to Slide. Now we have those 5 possibilities. Artificial intelligence, humans on Mars, fusion energy, synthetic life, or clean energy. And I'm curious to see here in the room which one you rate most important. Clean energy. So those who are against clean energy, you have to be fast now. Okay, 10 seconds left. Okay, have you all entered? Yes? Okay, so let's have a look at it. First and winner is clean energy. And it's interesting because third comes in fusion energy, and probably the ones who are in favor of clean energy in politics are not all of them also in favor of fusion energy. So there's a political debate, and we have a national councillor who just joined us here. So maybe she wants to have a look at this. Then artificial intelligence comes in second. We have synthetic life as fourth, and humans on Mars on number 5. That's very interesting. Thank you so much. Now we'll talk about science and society in dialogue. How can you build the bridge between the two and make it more understandable for citizens what happens in science? And we'll have a look at the small movie trailer of Her. Have you all seen Her, the film by Spike Jonze? If you haven't, go and see it. Now this is the trailer.
Mr. Theodore Twombly, welcome to the world's first artificially intelligent operating system. We'd like to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Are you social or antisocial?
I guess I haven't been social in a while.
How would you describe your relationship with your mother? Thank you. Please wait as your operating system is initiated.
Hello, I'm here.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Samantha. Good morning, Theodore.
Good morning.
You have a meeting in 5 minutes. You want to try getting out of bed?
You're too funny.
Okay, good, I'm funny. I want to learn everything about everything.
I love the way you look at the world.
How long before you're ready to date?
What do you mean?
I saw in your emails that you'd gone through a breakup.
Well, you're kind of nosy.
So what was it like being married?
There's something that feels so good about sharing your life with somebody.
How do you share your life with somebody? How are you?
I guess I've just been having fun.
You really deserve that.
It's been a long time since I've been with somebody that I felt totally at ease with.
What's it like to be alive in that room right now?
I wish I could put my arms around you. Wish I could touch you.
How would you touch me?
I'm lying on the moon.
Falling in love is a crazy thing to do. It's kind of like a form of socially acceptable insanity.
D-O-B.
What does a baby computer call its father?
I don't know what.
Dada.
It's so quiet. It's starry place.
Can you feel me with you right now?
I've never loved anyone the way I love you.
Me too.
Safe and
Now we know how.
a million miles away.
So great film, Her. So this guy, he has a new girlfriend, and it's an artificial intelligence. This is the story, and he shares his life with her, and until the moment he finds out that she has, I don't know how many millions other partners at the same time. So that's a bit special. But have a look at this film, it's really great. Now we want to talk about how to communicate science to the public, how to make it more catchy also. And the next question for this is, how should scientific achievements be communicated to society and media to ensure that they will stay in the collective memory? Okay? You again have 5 minutes for this discussion. 1 minute. Please enter your solutions. Facilitators, are you ready? Yes? Yes? Okay. Ten seconds. Okay. Thank you so much for this. Now, let's have a look at it. Because emotion... I need your attention now. Emotion and emotions, they were winning from the beginning. But now, for instance, images and social media, they have also been very prominent. We also have school, obviously, movies. Maybe because we show you all these cool movies. Now you have, yeah. Direct interactions, big budget. Yeah, that's always nice. Public debates, storytelling. Now I would like to ask you again to take your own device and rank some of them. We have to give Mats some... Oh, yeah, he already has them. So we have emotions, images, movies, social media, understandability, or schools. Please rank them now. Which one is most important for science communication? You can all participate, not only the facilitators. Ten seconds. Okay, this is it. Let's have a look at them. So emotions is clearly number one, winning, and schools and understandability are very close. Well, you can't compare all of them, of course, but schools and understandability, then we have images, social media, and movies. And 70 people here in the room have voted, so that's really a great result. Thank you. So this was everything with the voting. I'd like to shortly summarize what we've seen in the last 1 hour. We have learned from that session how culture and science influence each other. We found out which scientific events stay in our memories. And we collected ideas how we have to communicate science so it stays in the collective memory of society. This was just a short glimpse to you, also to show you a new format, which you can also try out yourselves. It's quite easy, just mentimeter.com and buy the pro version. It's a bit more expensive, but there's also a free version with ads and so on, but the pro version is a bit better. It's quite cool because you can engage audiences. So we use that for science communications, but you can also use it in other formats. So that's just one way of addressing science communication. Now, just to send you off to the coffee break, we'll play a last song. And it's the song which was #1 in the hit parade during the moon landing. And it's called In the Year 2525. It's a beautiful song, but it's rather dark, and it's interesting that it was #1 during the moon landing, because it shows a very dark scenario of the future of humanity. So please don't be too sad. Enjoy your coffee break, and after the coffee break, we'll have the science advice on tackling microplastics pollution, the role of science advice, an example from Sepia. I hope you've enjoyed the session, and now let's listen to this great song. Thank you.